The month of spooks and ghouls is upon us, the time for scary movies and scary creatures to come out and play. So this October I'm going to be making scary and dark themed videos. Today, even though it is not an obscure show, we're going to be looking at an episode of the famous 90s teen sitcom Boy Meets World. Most people watching this probably already know what the show is about, but in case you don't for some reason, here is a quick rundown. Boy Meets World centers around a boy named Corey Matthews. During the course of the series lasting 7 seasons, we follow Corey as he grows up from an 11-year-old boy to his college years and witness all the crazy shenanigans along the way. Along with Corey, we also have his family as well as his best friend Sean and a weird chick named Topanga, who later becomes Corey's girlfriend and goes from weird to Jesus Christ, talk about a glow up like god damn. Hell, she still looks great all these years later. Anyways, if there's one thing Boy Meets World is known for, it's occasionally dealing with serious topics, and it's when they deal with these topics that the show is at its strongest from a writing standpoint. This show is not afraid to dive deep into topics like Sean joining a cult in season 4, episode 21, Cult Fiction, which is one of the show's best episodes and shows the troubled side of Sean, which he has due to his rough upbringing, which caused him to always feel lost and out of place in the world, which made him very relatable and is why he's easily my favorite character in the show. Plus, Ryder Strong does an incredible job at training the character throughout the series.
I'm not in any trouble. You are. People expect this from me. I'm the screw up.
They have also dealt with topics such as alcoholism, child abuse, and even the loss of a parent, which again shows some of Ryder Strong's great acting skills.
It's like I'm watching myself do these things that I hate, and I can't stop them.
But there is one episode of the show's run that got dark, and I mean dark. It involves blood and murder. Yes, you heard that right. This episode is season 5, episode 17, and then there was Sean. Let's get into it. So the episode starts off pretty normal. The students, including Sean, Topanga, and Corey, are in class starting off their day. At the time, Corey and Topanga are broken up, so Corey forces Sean to sit between them to make it easier for him to deal with Topanga being there. Sean agrees to this and sits between them. Just then, a student named Kenny asks Topanga for a big pencil. This causes Sean to get involved because in high school, asking for a pencil is the equivalent of asking to smash. This causes commotion between Sean, Corey, Kenny, Topanga, and Topanga's friend Angela. This causes Mr.Feeny, their teacher, to lash out and give all 5 students detention. This is where things start to take a turn. Once in detention, Feeny leaves the room and the students discover they are locked in. After that, a creepy janitor who we do see come in the classroom earlier in the episode appears, shows his keys, and then leaves. Just then, the lights in the classroom turn off and then on to reveal the words, "No one gets out alive," written on the chalkboard, in blood. This causes mass panic from everyone except for Sean, who just so happens to be a big fan of horror movies, and has seen all of these horror movie cliches before. Sean tells everyone that this is Mr. Feeny's work to teach them a lesson. Corey agrees with as they are older now and regular detention isn't enough to scare them. After this, the gang hear the doorknob start to move, just for the door to swing open and revealing Corey's brother Eric and his friend and Sean's brother Jack Hunter. Eric tells everyone that they saw the creepy janitor and that blood starts coming out of the locker room showers. The lights flash on and off, and this time someone dies. And that someone is Kenny.
Oh my god, they've killed Kenny! You bastard!
Yeah, that was a bad and forced joke. Look, 2020 has been a rough year, alright? A lot of shit's been going on and I'm just exhausted. So my jokes may be a little hit or miss, alright? Just deal with it. Anyhow, everyone runs out into the hallway terrified after this, and the lights start flickering, but Sean still thinks this is all just a big scheme put together by Mr. Feeny. In fact, he predicts the next events will happen moments before it does.
Why won't you believe me? It's all so predictable.
Oh yeah? Well, then what's gonna happen next?
First, there'll be some strange shrouded figure creeping behind us that none of us will see. Then the lights will flicker, and Feeny will pop up and reveal his master plan to us.
Here's a knife, here's a gun, there'll be fun for everyone. Death is on the menu tonight.
Mr. Feeny, I have got to hand it to you. You have really outdone yourself this time. I mean, killing Kenny, obvious choice, but the pencil, George, I mean, that was genius.
I knew it was you all along. What's the big lesson?
However, instead of Feeny explaining his master plan, it turns out he's dead. The killer stabs him with scissors and he falls to the ground. At this point, everyone is terrified, but the key suspect is the janitor. But then, holy fuck, the janitor is dead! His body is in a garbage can. There is now no suspect and no one knows who the killer is, and they think it has to be one of them. However, after he accidentally volunteers himself, Eric is left alone in the hallway to watch for a killer, which is when a girl shows up named Jennifer Love Pfefferman, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt. Not even trying with the names here, eh guys? Anyways, Eric thinks she's the killer, but she says she's not, and Eric, well, kind of just throws himself at her. Yeah, this wouldn't fly in today's world. If this happened in 2020, Twitter would be firing up for its cancellation immediately. But I digress. So after that, she joins the gang, they get a creepy phone call and they run to the library. In the library, we see the death of, get this, 4 of the characters. Jennifer and Eric get books pushed on top of them, which, how that kills someone, I got no idea. Jack and Angela get pushed out a window. At this point, Sean, Corey, and Topanga surround the killer, who is wearing like a Walmart Halloween costume. Like seriously, did this episode have like no budget or something? And then the killer is revealed to be Sean, even though Sean is right there looking at him. This makes sense in a second, believe me. Killer Sean put Corey and Topanga's hand together, and then Sean wakes up to reveal this was all just a dream he was having in detention. The ending, though, I have to say, is quite good. Sean tells Mr. Feeny that it's his fault everyone is in detention because he can't handle Corey and Topanga not being together, as they have been together since before Sean even knew of them. And now that they're not together, he feels like he has nothing to depend on, and it makes him angry that he can't do anything about it. Corey and Topanga immediately tell him that this has nothing to do with him, and Feeny explains that he feels so bad because something bad happened, and for once he isn't the cause of it, and it feels weird to Sean as he is used to being the one that causes these type of problems. And again, it's times like this when I cannot help but love Sean as a character. He is a troubled teen that in some way or another everyone can relate to, and his emotions and reactions feel so genuine that I even forget sometimes you're watching someone act and not watching an actual person's life. It's crazy, and I love this character for all the good and bad that goes into him. Now to sum up this episode, I found myself having a good time with it. It's dark, but it's what I would call comically dark. As a kid, this episode may come off as scary and even terrifying to an extent, but looking at it as an adult, you can't help but laugh. There is a ton of overacting and they use tons of horror movie cliches, but they do this purposely for the sake of being funny and making an entertaining story. And while cliches can be very annoying, it works well here, and I honestly had a fun time watching this episode. I feel this is a great episode to watch anytime, but especially during the month of Halloween. Anyways, that wraps up another video, and now we move on to the next one. As for what's next, well, I think it's time to look back into what started this channel, and that being Lost Media. So we'll see you all next time. Take care.